Today on JiK Labs, we're going to buy a car. Not really, but we're going to show you a helpful function in Microsoft Excel that's going to allow you to know what your car payments will be. Let's get started. Now that we have Excel open and ready to go, let's take a look at this sheet that we have open. Like we said earlier, you're in the market to buy a new car and you want to know what your payments are going to be. So there are a couple of pieces of information that we need to know, and generally you would know this by researching, talking to your bank, or whatever the case may be to get this information. First thing is we need to know what the interest rate of the loan is going to be. So right now we're going to say a 3% loan. We're going to borrow the money for 5 years, and we're going to borrow $25,000. So that's all great. I'm borrowing $25,000 over 5 years at 3%. So what does that mean to me on a monthly payment? Luckily for us, Excel has a built-in equation that's going to make our life a lot easier. So we're going to come in here and use the payment function, which is PMT. We're going to open those parentheses. The first thing it wants to know is the rate. Well, generally we just come up here and select B2 because it's 3%. But keep in mind, that is an annual rate more than likely. So we're looking at a monthly basis. So we're going to take that annual 3% rate and divide by 12. We're going to hit a comma to get another field, which is our number of periods. But for a 5 year, you're making a car payment every month. So we're going to multiply the number of periods, or payments in this case, by 12. We're going to hit another comma. The present value of this loan is $25,000. And then we're just going to close out those parentheses. And we're going to hit enter. And we're going to see that our loan payment is going to be $449.22 a month. And we could say, wow, that's too much money. So we could come in here and say $20,000. We only want to borrow $20,000 at 5 years. And we get to $359 and change. So now that you have this equation built down in here, let's come in here real quick and lock in these cells. So now you can see this equation. So you can come in here and play with all these fields and see what variables would allow you to have a car payment in which you know you can afford. If you're considering a new car, you're going to have your budget. You know what you can afford monthly for your car payment. Don't forget that you also have insurances and other things associated with the cost of a vehicle. But for right now, we're just looking at the loan payment. And 3% over 5 years for a $20,000 loan is going to be about $360 a month. Pretty simple. Also, you could just use Google Auto Loan Calculator, and that would take care of it for you as well. But this is built into Microsoft, and you can change this information as you like. So one thing I want to mention is up here I've put in our rates, our years, and the loan amount. You don't have to do that. But I'm going to show you real quickly why it is advantageous for you to do that. So we're going to come in here and do payment just like we did. And we're going to do a 3% loan again, divided by 12, because that's an annual APR. We're going to come in here and say 60 payments, because that's 5 years times 12 is 60. And we're going to say the present value is a $20,000 loan. And we're going to close those parentheses. And you're going to see we have the same exact information right there. But the issue you're going to run into with just plugging it in this example, is that every time you want to change, maybe I only need a $15,000 loan, that updates this equation with the cell references automatically. If you wanted to do it down here where you just plugged all the information in, you would have to come in here, edit that, and then hit enter. And that is just a pain. You don't want to have to do that. So by making yourself an area where you can enter and manipulate your data or information and reference your payment equation back to there, will make your life a heck of a lot easier. So while we're looking at auto loan payments, we may as well take a couple seconds and also look at future and present value formulas. So what future and present value do, it takes pretty much the same equations, or not the same variables that we set up for the loan payments, and we'll calculate the future value of some money. Let's just say we had $20,000 today cash, and we wanted to see what we would have in 5 years at 3% interest. We could also say we made payments or we made no payments. Same thing with present value. If we had $20,000 5 years from now, what is that worth in today's money? We're going to come to future value, and we want to know what $300 a month over 5 years earning 3% interest is going to be worth. So once again, the rate is going to be 3 divided by 12. Number of periods is we're going to pay ourselves $360 every month, so we're going to say 5 times 12. Our payment is minus $360 because we're paying that, and our present value is $0. Close out that formula and hit enter, and in 5 years we should have $23,272 and change. We're going to add in the apostrophe so you can see that function. Present value is going to be the same exact thing, but it's going to tell you what is the value today of a future sum of money. So we're going to hit equals, and it's present value PV. The rate is still going to be 3% divided by 12. It's going to be 5 times 12. Payments are going to be a minus 360 as we used in that equation just above, and the future value is going to be the 23,300, or I'm rounding, and we're going to close out those parentheses. Now when we hit enter, we should see 0, which we do. Josh, why is that? Well, first, real quick, let's come in here and lock these cell references. Why does future value net tell us 23,000 and change and present value is 0? Well, given the variables that we looked at, we are paying ourselves $360 a month for 5 years, every month, earning 3% annually. And then at the end of that time, we should have 23,000 and change. What present value is looking at in this equation is, we said we're starting with $23,272 at the end of 5 years. We've paid ourselves $360 a month at 3% annually, and that would be worth $0 today. Thank you for joining JiK Labs today as we showed you a very quick and easy way for you to build an Excel sheet that tells you how much your car payment is going to be based off of the variables that you tell it. Your rate, how long is the car loan going to be, and how much are you looking to borrow. It's going to tell you the payment, and if you use your variables outside of your function and link your equation back to these functions, you can easily update these numbers and immediately see the change in what your potential payment would be. We also briefly looked at future and present value to allow you to see what money you'll have in the future and what is that money worth today. Hopefully you found this video helpful, and we'll see you all next week. Thanks for watching. That itch was bothering me.